Salmon, one of the most beloved fish in the world. From sushi to salads, it's a versatile and healthy option that promises a dose of omega-3s with every bite. But have you ever wondered why wild salmon is so expensive compared to the farmed variety? Or why does some salmon have a strange pink hue? Today, we're diving deep into the truth about salmon. From its farming practices to the mystery behind those vibrant colors, we're uncovering the facts behind the fish that's become a staple on dinner plates worldwide. Salmon comes in two main types: wild-caught and farmed. But what's the difference, and why does it matter? Wild salmon lives in rivers and oceans, swimming freely through its natural environment. These fish eat a varied diet, feeding on smaller fish, insects, and plants, which gives them a different nutritional profile compared to farmed salmon. Farmed salmon, on the other hand, are raised in controlled environments, often in large net pens in the ocean. They're fed a specifically designed diet, usually including fish meal, oil, and sometimes plant-based ingredients. Because they live in crowded conditions, farmed salmon are more susceptible to disease, which is why many farms use antibiotics and pesticides. One of the most striking features of salmon is its vibrant pink color. But did you know that this color isn't natural in farmed salmon? Wild salmon get their pink hue from the carotenoid pigments found in their natural diet, primarily from eating krill, tiny crustaceans rich in a compound called astaxanthin. Farmed salmon, however, don't get these pigments naturally, so instead manufacturers add synthetic astaxanthin or other coloring agents to their feed to mimic the pink color of their wild cousins. This can lead to some interesting variations in color, ranging from pale pink to deep red. Salmon is often hailed as one of the healthiest fish you can eat. It's rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which are great for heart health, brain function, and reducing inflammation. But what you may not realize is that wild-caught and farmed salmon have slightly different nutritional profiles. Wild salmon tends to have a higher concentration of omega-3s and a lower amount of unhealthy fats because they swim freely and consume a varied natural diet. Farmed salmon, while still nutritious, can have higher levels of saturated fat due to their diet and farming conditions. Salmon farming isn't without its environmental costs. The large-scale farming of salmon has raised concerns about pollution, the spread of diseases to wild fish populations, and the depletion of smaller fish used as feed. Farmed salmon are often raised in dense conditions, and their waste, including uneaten food and feces, can accumulate on the ocean floor, harming marine ecosystems. On top of that, the farming process can lead to the overuse of antibiotics and other chemicals, which may affect both the fish and surrounding wildlife. With growing concerns about sustainability, many consumers are turning to certified sustainable seafood. Programs like the Aquaculture Stewardship Council, or ASC, and the Marine Stewardship Council, or MSC, certify fish farms that follow sustainable practices. These certifications aim to reduce the environmental footprint of farming and ensure that fish are raised in humane conditions. However, these certifications aren't perfect. Some critics argue that the standards are still too lenient and that more needs to be done to address the environmental damage caused by salmon farming. One of the most controversial aspects of salmon farming is the use of antibiotics and pesticides. In crowded farming environments, disease can spread quickly, and to combat this, many farms use antibiotics to keep the fish healthy. While these antibiotics can be effective, there are concerns about the potential for resistance and the impact on surrounding ecosystems. Additionally, pesticides are often used to control parasites like sea lice, but these chemicals can also harm marine life and contribute to the degradation of the ocean environment. Let's talk about labels. You've probably seen the term wild-caught on many packages of salmon, but what does it actually mean? Wild-caught salmon is caught directly from oceans, rivers, and lakes, and it's often seen as the healthier and more sustainable option. However, not all wild-caught salmon is created equal. Some wild populations are at risk due to overfishing, and catching them can harm ecosystems. On the other hand, farmed salmon can be raised sustainably with careful management, but the environmental impacts still exist. The future of salmon farming is evolving. With advances in technology, there's growing interest in creating land-based fish farms that don't rely on ocean pens. These systems aim to reduce pollution and disease transmission to wild fish. There's also the possibility of lab-grown salmon, which could potentially offer a solution to overfishing and environmental damage, but we're still a long way from seeing this as a mainstream option. With all this information in mind, how do you choose the best salmon for your plate? Look for certifications like the MSC or ASC, which indicate that the fish was sourced sustainably. If you want to avoid the environmental impacts of farming, opt for wild-caught salmon from well-managed fisheries. And check the label to see whether the salmon was farmed using responsible practices and if it's free of antibiotics and pesticides. Salmon is more than just a tasty fish. It's a product of complex farming practices, environmental concerns, and nutritional benefits. So the next time you pick up a piece of salmon, take a moment to consider where it came from and how it was raised. The truth behind your salmon might surprise you, but knowing more can help you make informed choices for both your health and the planet. Let me know in the comments, do you prefer wild-caught or farm salmon? And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the food we eat. Until next time, keep questioning and keep exploring.